Well, for the first time ever, vlog number 11 presents you with the classic British climate. Rain, and I'm stuck in isolation. I better go back inside and explain. Hello. What are we going to do today? The weather's terrible. What are we going to do today? So this is a bit of a different vlog. I'm in isolation. I haven't got COVID, so no worries there. I just came into close contact with somebody with it, but so far I'm testing negative, so it's looking good. But I thought I'd use this opportunity to talk about a few things, reevaluate what I'm doing with the vlogs and where I'm going to go with it. As you well know, I started off my vlogs, if you've been watching this since the beginning, as a sort of a journey of a music producer, finding focus, finding positivity, and crafting a career in music production again, I would say. Over that time, I've had the amazing news that I've been signed up to Street Royalty Music. I did the Kygo course, which is something else I'm going to talk about in a separate video at some point, because I'm still working through a few things with that one. There's some interesting stuff to come out of that course, mainly copyright issues around some of the work that was promoted as being part of the course. But until I know for sure exactly what's actually happening with that, I don't want to accuse or place any blame on any particular individual. I want to see what happens there. You'll find that I used one of their tracks on my previous videos, by the way. So if you want to go back through, I'll see if I can find it and put a link down below for you just to go and see the track I did with the Kygo course. But I'm at a point with the vlogs. I want to share a few things. So not that long ago, I would say 9-10 months ago, my relationship with my ex-wife came to an end. It was a very difficult time for me. I'm fine now. Obviously, I had a lot of things to deal with over that period of time, and I used the start of this year to move forwards and to reevaluate what matters to me in life. And this has been probably one of the best things for me. It's a video diary of my successes and my failures, my future progression within this industry, but just pursuing something that I have loved beyond belief for so many years. I started doing this when I was probably, well, if you I was about 12 when I learnt guitar. So I'm a guitar player by, that's my main instrument. I started realizing I could write songs by the age of 16 and I could sing well enough to be able to pull something together. I won a school competition where I got a band together and we won the competition with the song that we produced. I wrote it. I got the rest of the guys to play it, to be fair, but you know, it for me it was a bit of a big moment for me, because I thought, I love this and I know I can actually do something with it. So then I went in and did a degree, and then beyond that I came out, and the rest is an experience of different things. I worked in a fantastic studio, which was a great opportunity. I worked alongside some fantastic producers. I was able to see how they work, right into their process. I was there experiencing things, to the point where I almost began to sort of hear and see where they were going with it. And it helped me to then understand how I can hear and see where to go with things. And then after that, I was able to work with some fantastic artists as well. A couple of artists I produce, a band that I helped to produce and mix. And at that point, I guess my life was continually going through this process of change. I was finding myself, I work as an IT engineer by trade, and I found that to be quite an experience in itself. And it's helped me to be able to have the ability of the technical side of dealing with things, So technology-wise, I've always been fairly okay, because if there's a problem, I can just fix it myself, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I did all this stuff, and I came to the point where I'm at now, and I wanted to give everything to it for a change. I still enjoy my work as an IT engineer and my day job, but the music is something that helps drive me along in my free time, and gives me something to really focus on. And if I can make this into a living, if I can make money out of it so that I can support it, then I will. And I have plans on how I'm going to do it. I'm working through different things. Signed to the label Street Royalty Music. Thank you so much, guys. Love you for your support. And the other things that I'm doing, like studying the different courses. But I'm also thinking of reaching out more on here to people to offer things that I've learned over the years. I mean, I must have now 20 plus years experience doing this. I'd like to think that they all have some sort of meaning, that there's a bit of information I can share with people as well. So with that being said, what I've decided to do on this vlog is to share some stuff with people. Now, so this isn't a trip out. So those who love watching my trips out, I'm sorry, on this particular vlog, it's going to be more music based. And I think my vlogs are going to start becoming more focused on my music. But I hope that you can sort of still get an idea as to how I'm progressing with things and where I plan to go. So, with that said, I thought we would take a look at my track, One Last Try. Now, One Last Try was featured in one of my previous vlogs as well. It's also been played on the radio. It was never mixed brilliantly. It was done before I went on a lot of finding of new ways to mix. I predominantly come from mixing rock music, and what I found is that perhaps I was shying away a little bit from the fact that you can apply a lot of the things you've learnt on that you can in here. So for those of you who haven't heard One Last Try, what I'm going to do is I've managed to figure out how to do screen capturing. So here we are, okay. I'm going to try and do it via the microphone on here, as well as using the speakers as well, so that you can hear clearly what I've been doing. This track has a lot of things going on in it, and what I didn't want to do was go through everything all in one go, because there's a lot here to talk about. But what I did want to do was to show you where I would go next with it, why I am making the decisions I'm making, and how you can enhance something. Now, as you can see, I've got quite a few plugins on my Masterbus. Some of these I revisited this track basically not that long ago, and decided that I actually wanted to do some changes. I was going to show you the differences. However, what actually happened was something kind of odd. The actual save just disappeared, so I've had to go back to the beginning before I made the changes. But I thought, well, I'll use this opportunity to live go through the changes that I would make. Okay. By the way, this plugin here is fantastic. So hopefully you can hear what that Shadow Hells is doing. It adds a subtle pump to the track. Beautiful plugin. Love it. I also have this on there, which I think I took off in the end when I was making the different changes. But what I really wanted to show you was this plugin. So this plugin, there is a few reviews of it on the internet. I think a lot of people are a bit dumbfounded by what Gullfoss is. Gullfoss is effectively as far as I can tell, quite a sophisticated dynamic EQ. Okay, it's a dynamic EQ, whilst different to a multi-band compressor, is basically something that can go in to very narrow frequencies and compress them, squeeze them up and down. It can get into stuff. Let me give you an example as to what it's doing. I'm going to set the recover up to about 100%. Then I'm going to bypass it, and you can have a listen over the chorus as to what it's actually doing. So those settings were fairly intense, really. I mean, 102% on here is a lot. So the way that this plugin works, basically, is Recover works by trying to bring out material that's being masked, and Tame tries to push down material in sort of the reverse way. The bias is the sort of bias towards which one it goes towards, Recover or Tame. And the brighten is obvious, it brightens or darkens the track. The boost acts as a smiley face EQ. It just adds a bit of an EQ curve. To be honest with you, these three here, the bias, brighten and boost, they're not a big deal. They're nice to have, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have all these tweaky things. The Recover and the Tame are really the main two. But here's a really great way that I've learned to use Gullfoss, and I suggest you have a look into this. I did watch this from, I think it's Produced Like a Pro, and I realised that this is the best way to use this plugin. When you're learning to mix with this plugin, when you're mixing with this plugin, I should say, use it as a tool for learning how your mix should sound better. When you go in here and you set the Recover right up, as we will do now, and I will play it. Sorry, you probably hear the audio skips now and again. It's just because of the way I'm doing the screen capture, but you should be able to hear. And as you look, right, if we have a look up here, you can see that the upper mid frequencies here in this section are being boosted. Yes, they get boosted, and down here at the bottom end is being crushed. Okay, there's various peaks and troughs there. But you can take from this that something is being adjusted. So, what you can go through then is having a look at the track and finding out what's going on up there. And here's how I suggest you do it. What we can do is, I would suggest muting your kick and your bass. It's been a while since I've had to visit this track, so bear with me. So I've used a bass here, which is like down below, altered it. So one of the tricks that I found with bass is you want to get the bass that's lower supported by something that's higher, because the way the bass works is bass is kind of like something that needs to sit on top of the kick generally. Usually you want the kick to be the lowest instrument, okay? To check this out, if we mute this, this is a very useful plugin, by the way, Span. Find out where the bass is sitting You know, you can see my bass is sort of sitting around here, 40 to 50. It's actually a little bit on the low side, possibly. It's something I'm going to look at. But when you put in, so the kick is sat down here, sorry. The bass, when I bring it in, let me find the right one. You can see there's the bass line. Sat at 86, 100. It's moving around obviously because the note pitch changes, but it sits above the kick. However, the kick is a little bit dominant maybe, so you can actually see that. Gullfoss is having an attack. It's going, my God, there's nothing up there. I'm going to have to boost the frequencies. Look what happens if I turn it off. Oh, hang on. I need to turn off the automation that's going absolutely crazy on my track. If you look at this, and then you mute it. Sorry. If you look at this and bypass it, sorry. You can hear how much it's trying to exaggerate the upper frequencies. Now, part of that is due to the fact that it's correcting for the fact that there is little up there. But it's also an indicator that perhaps your bass is just not really communicating very well in the track. And I can hear that. So one of the first things that I would then do, rather than panic about 4,000 plugins, is I'd go and add some higher frequencies on the bass. In fact, it looks like it probably wants something around there. Don't go too mad here, because you've got other stuff up there, remember? Like this one. But you see what I mean? You can use it to go and find issues in your track. Be careful though with boosting everything around 2K. You do need to then go back through and listen. This is a round trip type experience where you go round and round and round. Next up is this plugin. Now, I reviewed this on a video years ago, but they recently updated it. And for anyone who doesn't know what this is basically a plugin that emulates something called the Distressor, which was made by Eli Labs, Empirical Labs. Okay, now this plugin is superb. However, it's just had an update which makes it even more superb. Now, I don't even think I've got it set right at the moment because we could do with it being a bit quicker. By the way, if you notice that there's some latency within this system, it's because of the fact that I'm running it all as a screen sort of share type thing. Rather than letting you hear what it does so much, what I recommend you do is go and try I think there is a demo on their website to try. Basically what they added recently was the Opto AB up here. They added expert mode, which enables you to go in and adjust exactly how the clipping and saturation work. And there's a trim level, there's a listen button here. They added a load of additional features that make the Arouser one of the best emulations of this. So what is the Arouser? What is the Distressor? The Distressor is like a workhorse compression box. It features loads of stuff that just basically gives you everything you kind of need in a box to compress audio. Compression, for those of you who don't know, is what allows you to bring the transients down and the audio generally down and squeeze it down to a level where you can then bring the whole up again. It reduces dynamic range. It enables the quieter stuff to be heard more, basically. It's useful for situations where you might suddenly lose the audio because something else takes over. They used it a lot in radio and things like that back in the day to try and make sure that the signal was carried through the airwaves and was delivered to a receiver, i.e. a radio player, without losing too much loss. It's become used in a lot of popular music because it enables people to control this range of volume that is within a sound, and therefore you can always hear it. Sometimes the actual benefits are more to do with character of how this is done as well. You know, like you might put some nice slippers on in the evening to just chill out, and you might like to buy yourself a specific type of slippers or shoe or clothes. You put clothes on, you wear clothes, don't you? Go outside. Why don't you just chuck on a robe? You wear different clothes to give yourself character. Well, in much the same way with a compression unit or plug-in or whatever, each one eludes its own way of doing things, and some of them give it warmth, some crunchiness, some bite, some softness, some different characteristics, some flavors. This plugin does that. So I know that this has been a bit of a different vlog. I'm kind of going to end it on a note where I'm going to say that this has been a little bit of a review of some of the plugins that I like to use. I've done a screen capture. I'm hoping that you've been able to see a little insight a little bit more clearly in what I do. I hope to get out again next week. I believe I'm free. I'm allowed to venture into society again. I hope to do more of these. I'm going to try and do shorter, quicker vlogs talking about my music. I don't know whether I will include them in my main weekly vlogs. These vlogs, like the Sunday vlogs that I release, will potentially still remain something that I do so that I can give you an insight to the area. Or I may just start stepping it up, recording everything I'm doing, giving you more of an insight. Of course, at the moment, I know that some people do this, but they have their whole life is focused around music. I have a day job, so during the week, there isn't really as much to sort of talk about with regards to my music. But I hope that I can step things up a bit. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. I hope that you'll join me again next Sunday. And if you've got any opinions, comments, have any feelings on the videos, please give me any comments below. What do you think of the Arouser? Have you used it? What about Gullfoss? Does it confuse you? Have you tried it? What do you think of Gullfoss? Is it a go-to plugin for you? Have you started using it on your own mixes? Tell me what you think of it. Please try to help me boost these videos up. I need to get things moving a little bit more. It'll encourage me to start posting more stuff. So if you can also like the video, if you could subscribe, I'm never going to be able to say it, so forget it. Just please like and subscribe to everything. I really will appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.